We got to keep going, guys. We got to keep getting more followers. We didn't get any Patreon members today, so we got to keep working. I got a lot of stuff to work on, but we got to work on this first, I guess. So let's keep her going. Let's keep her going.
We are prepared to make you a very generous offer.
So today we're going to be answering questions about diet, fitness, and health. Okay. So I'm working on becoming a personal trainer. So I will try my best to answer your questions. If you do have any. If you have any. We got you silver buying, dumbbell curling, Alaskan motorcycle driving, brother from another mother. Wow. Dude, I gotta put my Ezekiel away. I keep this in the freezer, but I can't get up now. Yeah, I got a motorcycle. It's in storage, you know. I can't drive it now, but I was driving it in the snow. But I just picked up a car. I just got a nice car. A guy with 20,000 followers like this. That's pretty good. Damn. The guy's got 20,000 followers. With pepper. I was like pepper. I'm serious about protein sources for vegan besides beans and nuts. Well, if you want protein sources, I would just, you know, for vegans, peas are good. Yeah, I would say eat a lot of peas, dude. I would get some frozen peas, frozen organic peas at Wegmans. Also, kidney beans. I like kidney beans a lot. You know, I used to have rice with kidney beans and then have some chicken. Well, you can't eat chicken. But, you know, I'm not, you know, they say tofu is good, but I don't eat that crap. You know, what is the best vegan protein source? Well, to be honest with you, I'm kind of a new trainer and I haven't worked with any vegans. But I would say peas and kidney beans. And I would say, get yourself this, okay? Raw organic meal. Okay? Also, Sun Warrior makes a good protein. But I would say, get this, raw organic meal. This is probably the best protein for a vegan. You know, because what is in it, you know? Well, you got pea protein, sprouted pea protein. I told you peas are the best. Peas is like the best protein source for a frickin' vegan, all right? So organic sprouted brown rice protein. So you could eat brown rice. Brown rice does have protein, but it's not complete. So you could mix your brown rice with, you know, wheat bread or something like that, and it'll make it into a complete protein. You can mix two incomplete proteins to make one complete protein, you know? So you know, if I'm going to be working with vegans, which I hope I don't, but I might have to because I'm going to be needing to get money. I got to make money as a personal trainer. So I probably will have to work with some freaking vegans, all right? But I'm going to be coming out with a diet plan for vegans, you know? Sprouted buckwheat, millet, sprouted quinoa, okay? Quinoa has a little bit of protein, I think. So you could eat peas, quinoa. As a matter of fact, I used to do that because I would be all about trying to eat more vegan stuff. So I would mix peas with quinoa. But I would also put like a pound of beef on there too. But you can't do the pound of beef. But yeah, sprouted grains, millet, quinoa, chia seed. Pumpkin seeds are good protein. Sunflower seed butter is good protein. Peanut butter is okay. But as that other gentleman said, you know, you got to watch your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. I mean, But yeah, just different seeds and nuts, and macadamia nuts are very good. Pecans are very good. So you do have a lot of vegan protein sources, but I would say you don't have any. You don't have any reason to be vegan. Why are you vegan? Why the heck are you going to be a vegan? Fish has omega-3s. Yep. Meat is good protein. Lab-grown meat. Is lab-grown meat vegan? I don't think so. Sausage is good protein. So, why has gold tanked? Well, you could also ask, why did it skyrocket last night? It's because it was a fucking Asian market. The Asians buy it. Okay? The U.S. banks dump it. They're dumping paper. That's why it tanked. Probably dumping paper gold, dumping paper silver contracts, because they're probably caught short. They're probably trying to hold the metals back. And they don't want gold and silver to go up too high too fast. Because then people will say, oh, let's get into gold. We'll dump our other stocks that, these guys, the insiders, don't want you to dump. That's why. They want to tank gold. They're trying to crash it. Okay? These people are evil. They're trying to make gold go down. Are they going to succeed? No, not right now. They can do a little bit. But gold is heading higher. All they can do is slow it down. Okay? That's all they can do. Slow it down a little bit. Probably to let institutions get out of their shorts, Ever seen the movie The Big Short? Well, these guys are short on silver. So they want to crash it. Okay? They don't want to go. These banks don't want to go out of business, So although these banks are short, I believe they're also going long. But they're trying to get out of their short positions in a responsible manner. Okay? So they're trying to crush the price of gold and silver. And simultaneously, they're taking on long positions and trying to exit short positions. Okay? So it's just a lot of jostling for positioning. That's all it is. It's manipulation, jostling for positioning from these big banks. I think that's what's going on. It's all just manipulation. They're trying to hold gold down as long as they can. Okay? Make broccoli great again. Yeah, broccoli. It's very good for anti-cancer. Broccoli is one of the healthiest foods. I've been saying on this kilo, sitting on a kilo. This guy's got a kilo of gold or silver. I don't know. But I would definitely keep it, 3 hours to fit into. Jeweler's saw for 3 hours. If I were you, I'd buy another kilo. Buy as many kilos of silver as you can get. As many as you can afford. But also, look at this, Yeah, gold got hammered down a little bit today. So did Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin tanked as well. All right, guys? So you want to say, oh, why did gold tank today? Well, it's freaking manipulation. But look at this. Here's Bitcoin. Boom. Okay, it was up down with 93. Boom. Okay. So everything got hammered except for what? Can anyone say? Cannabis. Everything got hammered today except cannabis, And I've been saying cannabis is getting ready to jump. Okay? MSOX. That's the cannabis ETF. I just told you about that, and then it just skyrocketed today to $8, I had a feeling. Oh, yeah. Gold went down for a day. Yeah, it went down for a day. So what? You know, gold went down for a day and everybody's crying about it. But yeah, in reality, it sucks because gold is just, it's going up so good. And then boom, you know, they want to shake you out, you know. That's all it is. They're trying to scare you. They're trying to scare you out of gold. So they make gold go up as far as they can, as fast as they can, with as few people on board. How do they make it so there's few people? Well, they scare people. They make these big drops so people sell. And then guess what? After they sell, gold's going to make the next move up. Okay? So do not be manipulated. Do not let these market makers trick you into selling your gold or selling your silver because they want it, you know? So do not sell your gold yet. It is not the time, okay? Yeah. Don't panic sell. Do not panic sell on gold. They just want you to panic. They're going to make you panic more if they can. They definitely want you to panic more. We'll see what happens. So, hello everybody on the TikTok. Other countries don't need US anymore with AI advancement. That's probably true. The BRICS nations, they don't need the dollar anymore. Nobody needs the US anymore. I think the US is going down. When do you take profits? I take profits at the end of the gold bull run. So right now we are kind of, I would say, at the beginning of it. We're kind of at the beginning of the gold run. So I'll be taking profits eventually, you know, when we get to the end. You got to take profits when we get close to the top. So we should see, how do you know when we're at the top? Well, copper should be close to $7, okay? Platinum will have had a great move, you know? When we're getting close to the top, silver should be above 90. So we have all these signs to look for, okay? All these prices to look for, you know? When silver's up to 90 or 100, we might be at the top. So that's what you know when to look for. Just look for silver. When silver keeps going up, that means we're getting to the top. We got a long way to go. So why don't you leave the U.S.? Because you know it's the best country. No. Well, the U.S. is not the best country anymore. There's probably at least 20 to 30 countries that are better, where their citizens have more rights, where they have a better standard of living, where they care more about the health of their citizens. So the U.S. is not the best country. It's actually one of the worst, okay? It used to be the best, but not anymore. And why don't I leave? Because it's not easy to leave. It's not easy. Not easy at all. I'm with you. I still believe Shiba Inu. Yes, Shiba. I believe Shiba's going to do well. Obviously, today it's not doing well. But that's why we buy, you know. When it's not doing well, you're supposed to buy it. When it is doing well, you're supposed to sell. Okay? This guy says, name 10 countries. Give me a super chat first. And then I'm going to I'll play along with your game, but you got to give me a super chat. I ain't just playing along just to help you, you know? That's stupid. I don't see buying much of anything. Doesn't see me buying much of anything. Don't see how that's important, okay? Gold is up about 58% for this year. It's done well. Yeah, that's chump change, though. You know, gold should be a lot closer to 7,000 or 8,000. Silver should probably be 150, but like I said, it's manipulated. And yeah, gold, it's doing well because it's a historic moment, you know? This is a very historic time. Gold's probably going to go to 20,000. You know, we're making history. So yeah, of course we're doing well, you know. People are waking up to the fact that the US is not the best country anymore. The dollar is going down. Soon. The dollar is going to drop. Grow up, wear real clothes, buddy. Well, dude, when you fucking get rich, you can wear whatever you want, you know. Doesn't matter, bro. Don't matter. Put on a man hat, little boy. No. Okay. Well, a man hat. All right. I got another hat for you guys. Give me a super chat and I'll put it on. And if not, don't complain, okay? You dress like a 12-year-old from 2007. Goofy. Goofy money. Yeah, goofy money. Maybe that's a good nickname for me. Goofy money. I like that. Thanks, bro. You're poor. That's okay. That's fine. You know, no biggie. I'm broke. That's my problem, bro. This is funny. That's why I like doing this. The more you talk about money, the more you have to. Huh. I don't understand that one. That one's not as funny. These guys are too blank to wear a Pikachu hat. Sailor Moon. But you're poor. So what? That's my problem. Why are you saying that? Why do you even care? You know? Why would you tell all these people that I'm poor? You know? The haters don't even know why they say what they say. They just know that they have to hate. That's their job, you know? Everyone got a job. Haters' job is to hate, you know? Do I think we're in deflation? No, I think we're going into inflation. We have inflation. It's not your fault your testosterone is low. Nice hat. You're corny AF. I like that. Should I buy silver right now? Yeah, today's a good day to buy it because it was just up to 64.50 and now it's down to 62. So today would probably be a good day to buy. I would say. I think we're going closer to 90 or 100 within 6 months. So I'm very bullish on silver. Very bullish indeed. Okay. Financial advice. Oh, wait. Financial advice on. I missed that. Why should I watch your channel? Well, because I talk about exercising, getting in shape, and investing. If you're into that, then you probably like my channel. If not, then you won't like it at all. You'll hate it, you know? I lost silver gold. You should not lose your gold. Why are you going back down to the basement? I'm not going back down to the basement. I don't live in the basement anymore. Okay? I live in my apartment. Yeah, I was living in a basement, but I'm showing you guys how to level up, you know? I'm trying to teach you guys, you know, for younger men out there. You guys need a mentor. This is my purpose. This is my purpose in life. Okay? Trying to mentor some guys that need help. Put the Pikachu hat back. He wants me to put the Pikachu hat back on. Okay, there it is, guys. Thanks. I like this one better anyways. Type shit. Silver crashed yesterday. Well, it crashed today. You just see what others not see. Do you work at... Yes, I do. I do work there as a full-time supervisor. And I'm also a full-time stock trader. I'm a full-time YouTuber. Full-time TikToker. I'm a starving YouTuber. Starving YouTuber. So any donations are welcome. But yeah, I manage my portfolios. So I do that. I do a lot. I'm doing... right now I'm doing courses on personal training. So that's the newest thing I got into is personal training. After I get my personal training degree, I'm going to sell houses too. So what the goal is, I want to do personal training and sell houses. So that's what I'm doing. But the personal training is probably going to take me another 3 months. And then for me to get the freaking thing so I can become a real estate agent, that's going to take longer, you know. So I've got goals, I've got plans, you know. Do you? That's the question. Do you guys have goals? Is your hat like Nike or I don't understand. What is silver today? Is it 62 bucks? 65 gone back 61. Yeah, crashed. Yeah, we had a massive silver crash. Massive. No, it could be worse, but it finished off $61.91. 61.91. And yeah, that seems like it sucks because we were just up to 64.50. But does $61 silver really suck? No, we're making money, guys. We're making money on this channel, okay? If you want to get my top silver and gold stocks, please join my Patreon. It's only $10 a month, and that would really help support this channel, guys. Silver to the moon, yeah, for sure. You know, I told you, my prediction for silver is $300 in 4 years. I think we could hit 300 bucks. We could hit $300 in freaking 2 years or a year and a half. Okay? But I'm being conservative and I say $300 in 4 years. That's my prediction on silver, okay? I think we're going to 300. 5 years ago, I crawled out from under a bridge, got sober, and built a business. John is talking about some of the things I used to become self-sufficient. Haters build nothing. And he says that I contribute and build. Thank you. Yes, a freaking full-time job, trying to create wealth. I want to have my own family, have kids, you know, and hopefully my kids will be productive citizens too, if I teach them enough, you know. So I'm doing my best, bro. Thanks for the good words. Thanks for the good words. Who are you doing your certification with? It's called ISSA. ISSA. They had another one called NASM, but I did a little bit of research, and I just like the ISSA one. So that's what I did. And that's what I should be doing now, but I need to get more subscribers on this channel. So I'm going to talk to you guys for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to do my personal training stuff. I might as well just get it ready, you know. ISSA certification. I'll get it ready. I can't log in from here. That's the wrong place. There it is. Sign in. So yeah, right now I'm on the bodybuilding section. I kind of just started it. Bodybuilding specialist. And then I have certified personal trainer, nutritionist, strength and conditioning, and I got to do a CPR course. You know, I think I know how to do CPR, but I have to learn how to do it perfectly so that I can save somebody's life if I need to. So I think this is a good course to do, you know. And I'm coming along on it pretty good. Coming along pretty good. Silver is higher this week than 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Even though silver just tanked, it's still doing amazing. You know, I could sell some right now. I could freaking sell some of my silver and buy a Toyota Prius right now. Or I could wait and buy a nicer car, you know, or I could wait even longer and buy an even nicer car, you know. But I don't want to sell any silver. That's Kobe. He wants to sell some silver. But I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should sell your silver, bro. I think you should get more. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say to you, is that I think you should be trying to load up, you know. Don't be scared. Yeah, you cannot be scared. Or it's going to cost you, you know, you're not going to make as much money. So try not to be scared. You got to go in here. You got to purchase your physical silver. Remember, platinum too is really cheap. Platinum is very cheap. I think platinum's going to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Okay, dude. In your opinion, when silver hits 70, silver could hit 70 in a week. Okay, in my opinion, I'll just say 3 weeks, but it could hit in a week. You saw what just happened. Silver just skyrocketed up to 64.50 and they can't control it. That's why it's getting out of hand. So they're trying to hammer the price of silver down. And today they were successful, but they're not always going to be successful. Okay, guys, these guys do not have unlimited power. I know they do have a lot of control, a lot of power over these markets, but they can't control it forever. Okay, because the true market forces are more powerful. Yes, the U.S. banks want to short silver, but every other country in the world is loading up on it practically. Okay, you got your China, your India, your Japan, Asia. You know, a lot of these countries are buying silver. You got your BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, you know, China, the United Arab Emirates. These guys are loading up on gold and silver because they're going to create a currency that's different than the dollar. I think they're going to take us away from the dollar standard. And I think gold and silver is going to be a major part of the future. It's going to be a major part of these other countries creating a stable currency that is not the dollar. Okay, you gotta buy silver. Not financial advice. If you lose all your money, don't come crying back to me. Okay, silver could go to $0 tomorrow. Okay, because the fact is, nobody knows. You know, I think for sure it's going to skyrocket, but it could go to zero tomorrow. Okay, so this is not financial advice. Only invest with me if you think you're okay if you lose every penny you have. You know. So yeah, Kobe came in. Thank you, Kobe. I'm all in on Oracle. Okay. If I would think about getting a little bit of silver, maybe, because I mean, you can't just ignore it forever. You can, but whatever. The secret sauce, silver and XRP, my dude. I like silver and Shiba Inu, but yeah, you could do silver and XRP if you want. I just like Shiba Inu. Okay. Gold, silver, and Shiba Inu. These are some of my favorite investments. It's just like when I'm structuring a workout routine for somebody. You know I'm going to put in squats. You know I'm going to have them do deadlifts. You know they're going to be doing dips. Okay? So when you build your portfolio, why would you not buy gold, silver, and Shiba Inu? It's the same thing. You got to structure your portfolio just like you structure your workout routines. You got to have your bread and butter in there, the high quality stuff. Okay? Gold, silver, Shiba. And platinum too. I really like platinum. Okay? I'm ready for financial freedom. Yes. Thank you. We are all trying to achieve financial freedom. That's what this channel is about. Achieving financial success, getting rich, and getting ripped. Okay? Got to get rich and get ripped. Silver never falls. 1 year holder, just a few months holder like me dead. Silver does fall, okay? And I do believe it will fall, yes. I do believe silver is going to run up to about $100, maybe 120. It's probably going to go higher than a lot of these people think. So I'm thinking it's going to run up about 100, 110, 120. And then I do think we will have a crash, okay? And that crash, after that crash, that's when silver is going to run to 300. You know, oil is going to run to 300, 400 a barrel, okay? It's going to be all about the commodities after that. Right now, it's still about the tech, okay? But it's going to go towards commodities. And AI is always going to be there, okay? AI stocks are always going to probably do well. There's always going to be some popping up here and there. Yes. But for the next frickin' century, you know, it's going to be about commodities, primarily. When Shiba increased to $1, I don't bet that Shiba will ever go to $1. And it's funny that those words are even coming out of my mouth. And it's funny that they came out of your mouth too. You say, oh, silver, or Shiba Inu, when could it go to $1? And never, probably never. If Shiba Inu goes to $1, it's probably going to be 40 to 50 years. Okay, 40 to 50 years. Long time, okay? I bought 35 kilo physical silver at 52. When should I sell? I can't give you financial advice about when you should sell. And certainly if I did, I would want you to give me a lot of money for that advice because you're managing a lot of money. So I'm not about to give you advice about when to sell, especially if I'm not making any money from it. You know, why am I going to manage your silver for free? You think, do I look like an idiot? I might look like an idiot, but I'm actually not. Okay, I'm actually not. So I am not about to manage your silver for you unless you join the Patreon, okay? And even then, it's not advice. It's not financial advice. Gold is coming back to form after October 20 crash. Yeah, gold is coming back in a big way, for sure. Utility is king. Yes, there are some utility cryptos that are very good. Gold has utility. Silver has utility. Thanks for that, fan club. We're getting some coin over here on TikTok. So yeah, gold and silver and platinum have utility. Bitcoin does not have utility, okay? They want you to think it does, or that someday in the future, maybe, or, whatever. But Bitcoin is just to help the rich get richer. Gold and silver is to help the poor get rich, okay? Because all these insiders bought Bitcoin at the very beginning, That's how it works. When quantum computer become commercially available, crypto will become worthless. Well, they're saying that they can freaking break every crypto security code with quantum computing. And maybe if they chose to, if they were allowed to, maybe in China, they're going to make supercomputers that can do it. I don't know. But I do have a feeling that crypto will fall at some point in the future. I do think Bitcoin will have a massive fall, okay? But I think it's going higher first. John, did you sell out of the Krabby Patty meal at BK? Hey, Kaylee the Moose. The Krabby, we don't sell them, okay? I work on the highway. We don't have the Krabby Patty. We got the toys. We are getting the buns, like a square bun. And yeah, we got the toys. It's like a Mr. Crab toy with wheels on it or something. And we have the slushy. It's like a pineapple slushy. So yeah, if you guys want to come over, you can see me on the job, And Kobe knows where I work. Yeah, you guys can come see me at Burger King. Not giving you any free food though. I'll get in trouble for that. How did you have the meal? I didn't. No, the Burger King I work at, it's managed by Apple Green, so we don't get the full meal. Okay, on the highway, we don't get the full meal. All right, silver shortage soon in world. Yeah, there's already a silver shortage, bro. I've been telling my friends this for how long, and they don't believe me, And it is what it is, But yes, we've been in a silver supply deficit for the last 5 years. So silver can go to 300, and it's hard for people to believe that, And if I tell you silver is $62, I could tell you guys silver's going back up to 64, and people won't even believe it. They'll be like, "Oh no, it can't go back to 64. It just had a big crash today." People they're moronic. They're idiots. They don't understand real assets. Silver should be around 300 now. Yeah, for sure. Burger King, and you're giving advice about anything. This is not financial advice, okay? It dropped to 61. Yeah, it's about 62 though. But yeah, it dropped to 61. But they crushed it. These banks are just crushing it on purpose so they can get out of their shorts or so they can take on better longs. Okay? The insiders, they make money on both ways. They make money when it goes up, and they make money when it goes down. And they probably make even more when it goes down. Okay? Why the hate? BK is good and managers can make decent money. Oh yeah, I make 22 an hour, dude. I make 22, and I get overtime. So these people can hate, and it's not going to affect me one bit. It just gives me more talking points. But it also makes me get off track, which is not good. Okay? It's not good for me to get off track and just try to appease the haters all day. That's stupid. You won't give me free food. Kaylee, for you, I would risk my job for giving you free food, yes. But my managers aren't watching, but I believe that some of them do. I do believe some of my managers know that I am a YouTuber as well, Okay, but for you, Kaylee, I would give you some free food, and I'd pay for it, because you've been a member here for so long, and you've been with this channel for a long time. So the USA sets silver as a rare metal. Do you think it's important for silver financially? For silver financially? In what way? There's consequences to the USA declaring that silver is a strategic mineral. And the consequence is that silver is going to be in higher demand. Now the world knows, The world is now finally catching on to what I have been saying, what like the Silver Slayer, the guy Tim, There's a lot of different shows. There's a lot of YouTubers that talk about silver, and now people are waking up, and they're waking up in a big way. Silver going to 150, it could. Silver could hit 150 in 6 months. Okay, I think it might only hit 100 in 6 months, but it could hit 150 because this is historic. This is something that, well, this has never happened. In the past, silver went up to $50 in 1980. That's 1980 money. Now that would be like probably 140, 150, 160, 170 in today's money. Okay, so silver went up to $50. Then it went back down, and then it went up to $50 again in 2011, $49 and something. So that made the cup. And I told everybody, I told all of you guys, silver just made a cup. I was one of the first people. Me, Mike Maloney, there was a few of us that were calling out that silver made a cup and handle, okay? And now it is a historic breakout. It's not going to be, you really think the historic breakout is going to take us up to 64.50 for a historic breakout? This is only going to happen once in the history of the world? No, it's going to go to 100, 150, okay? We're not getting a historic breakout that's going to be a dud. I highly doubt it. The banks can't stop it this time. Okay? But they're trying. You saw what they did. They increased the margin requirements for people that want to buy silver contracts. Okay? So that tells me, okay, what does that tell you? What the fuck does that tell you? Well, what happened with TeraWulf? We saw that the options were quite expensive. They were going up in price. They were expensive. And it's like, why are they expensive? There's a reason why they're expensive. Why is it more expensive to get silver contracts? Well, there's a fucking reason that it's expensive. It's because it's going to go a lot higher. That's the reason. You know, are you guys getting it? Do you understand that this is the epic breakout of silver that we have been waiting for all these years? This is it, you know? So if you're not going to participate, you just don't like to have fun. You don't like to make money, you know, in my opinion. Or you've got a better place to be, like Kobe thinks Oracle is the better place to be. Or, cannabis is a good spot right now. But remember, with cannabis, it could easily come back right down. Okay? Yeah, I do think cannabis will have a massive breakout. And it may have already started. Okay? It may have already started. This could be it. Because we've already announced, we're going to go back to quantitative easing. You know it's coming. But at the same time, Jerome Powell, they said, next year, there's only going to be one rate cut. Who believes that? I don't believe that. I think Jerome Powell is a damn liar. He doesn't care about American families. He wants to manipulate the markets into thinking that there's only going to be one rate cut. No. It's going to be much, much more. It's going to be probably 5, 6. Okay? We're going to zero interest rates. That's what I'm saying. The federal funds rate is going to 0. Okay? Where to buy silver? I buy my silver from Provident Metals. Provident Metals. All right? Provident Metals. That's really where I buy it, okay? So, what do we got? We got fake M&M, yeah. I got all my money in empty beer cans. Powell's going to be out of there. So who cares what Powell says anyways, right? I don't care if Powell says there's only going to be one rate cut. I know there's going to be more because we're going into a recession. We can see all the cracks. We can see the signs. Okay, and these institutions, they can see it too. But they're going to pretend it's not there. Just like before the housing crash of 2008. They're going to pretend everything's okay. Up until the last minute. All right, guys? I can't believe that. No, someone called you M&M. Yeah, they did, Kaylee. On the YouTube, they said M&M. Kevin says Chainlink. I do like Chainlink, okay? I think it's got a good utility case. I'm nowhere near an expert, but the prevailing sentiment is that Chainlink has a lot of utility, okay? And that's all that matters. It probably does have utility, okay? But the sentiment is that it does. It probably does too. Who knows? So yeah, I do look a little bit like Eminem. Eminem wears a G-Shock too, and I do too. I sold my Seiko, guys. You remember that, my other watch? I sold it. My plan now is to get a Breitling. So I'm going to wear this until I get my Breitling. or I want to get an Omega Speedmaster. So I'm just going to wear this until silver goes up. Once silver hits about 90, 100, 120, then I'm going to get my Breitling or my Omega. Or I'll get a Rolex, okay? I'm thinking I would like a gold Rolex Daytona. It's about $30,000 though. And I don't really want to spend that much because it's just too much for a watch, you know? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Aluminum is king. Yes, I believe aluminum will go up. Pete said hi from Pennsylvania. Crazy. Yeah, Rolex Datejust. Yeah, that's a nice watch, dude. A little bit more affordable too. I really want a solid gold Daytona though, just because it's solid gold. You know, that's the only reason. Gold takes the Federal Reserve and silver takes the banks. It's coming. Yep. Some of you guys understand the direction that we are headed in the United States, and it is not good. Okay? You got to protect yourselves. The dollar has been strong, but I think that's going to change. I think the dollar is actually going to start to go down soon. They're just keeping it as strong as they can for as long as they can, so that confidence doesn't waver, you know. That's all it is. But the dollar is going to crash, you know. And that's the thing. Gold and silver are already moving up, and the dollar hasn't even gone down. Okay? So when the dollar starts to go down, that's when silver hits 100, 200, 300. Gold hits 7,000, 10, 15, 20,000. That's still coming. So with silver and gold, the biggest move is yet to come. And we got Kobe over here. I don't want silver. I want to sell it, you know? Like, what the heck? That's what the poor do. You know, you have a lot of money, dude. The poor are selling silver because they need it. Why are you? You know, that is just so counterintuitive. You know, silver's for the rich. If you're really rich, why are you selling silver? You know, people sell silver because they need money. You know, so I don't understand a lot of the things with some of my viewers, but like, why would you sell when we're just starting a crazy bull market? The dollar hasn't even cracked yet. Why would you sell silver? Buy a house instead of a watch. Well, I would plan on buying a house at the same time, yes. And I'm not going to buy a house until the housing market crashes. Okay, so that's still yet to come. That's still coming. I do plan on to buy a house within a couple of years. You have to your psychology. Well, you always do have to examine your own psychology and figure out, you know, why am I selling silver? Am I really poor? Do I really have all this money? You know, whatever. You know, why are you selling silver, dude? Like, why don't you buy more? You know, if you have $400,000, why don't you have 20% in precious metals, you know? But I can't control everyone else. I can only control myself. So give me that hat. Buy a house in Mexico. Bitcoin going to $1 million over time and more. It is possible that Bitcoin could go to $1 million. And this, I am, you know, considering that as a possibility. And that is why I hold crypto, you know. But yes, I hold crypto. I don't have any Bitcoin. I don't like Bitcoin. I have Shiba Inu, Pepe, Bonk. And if you want my full list of cryptos, please join the Patreon. I am trying to make a living at this, guys. I'm trying to make a living right now. So I changed gold to silver money. Paying off house and buying another when market crashes. Yes, that is genius. When the market crashes, you got to have cash and you got to have credit. You got to have good credit and you got to have cash. So that way you can put down a big down payment. You get a lower interest rate. Or you don't even have to put down a big down payment if you want, you know. I changed gold. I think this guy said he sold his gold and he bought silver. That's good. Yeah, you want to, that's one play right now is you could sell your gold and buy silver because silver is getting to that point where it is starting to outperform gold. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, don't do that. Don't sell your gold to buy silver. You should be waiting and then sell your silver to buy gold. Well, yes, there will be a time for that too. There's going to be a time where you can sell your silver and trade it for gold, and you can get a lot more gold. But it's not time for that. Right now, the play is still to dump your gold and get silver, because silver always outperforms gold at the end. You understand me? I meant
have to control your psychology when you buy silver?
Yes, because a lot of people, they might think that silver is too risky, and you got to really think about the bigger picture, okay? And your psychology, it might be telling you to be scared. It might be telling you to be fearful. You really got to come to yourself. You have to examine yourself and say, why do I have these various opinions, you know? And then examine what is really happening in the world, and then what you should be doing. People often, they do what makes them feel good, okay? People do what makes them feel good. You got to do what makes you rich. Don't care about what makes you feel good, you know? So even if you don't like silver, you should still own it. You should still buy it, okay? Because this channel is really just about making money, you know? I don't care if it's in silver or gold. It just so happens that silver and gold were going to do really well, and that's why I named the channel John's Gold and Silver. If I thought, you know, Bitcoin was going to 1 million, I would have named the channel Bitcoin, you know? And I would have bought some Bitcoin. But I don't think that. Don't buy that watch. I want to get an Omega Speedmaster or a Breitling Chronomat Evolution. Okay, so I got a couple watches that I really want.
Your office is ceiling needs invest into some.
He doesn't like the ceiling. I rent here, guys. Josh Allen or Mahomes rookie. I'd probably say Josh Allen, just because I think Josh Allen's a little bit more popular right now.
Silver prediction 60%.
Industry used 80%. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much silver the world is using, you know, and it's true. We've been in a silver supply crunch. This is a supply deficit for the last 5 years. You think all of a sudden there's going to be an oversupply? No, there's going to keep being a deficit. And it takes a long time when you first open up a silver mine to be able to produce silver. It can take like 10 years, okay? And a lot of the silver that they get, it's from mining other stuff. So if there is actually like a recession, then they might stop mining a lot of that other stuff, and that means there won't be as much silver. So even in a recession, silver supply should still be in a deficit, okay? This is very good for silver.
You need to pay silver gold without VAT in Germany.
I think he's trying to say that you have to pay a premium if you buy silver in Germany. You have to pay a massive premium, I'm pretty sure.
I really got benefit from your advice. I appreciate your videos.
Thanks, dude. I have no doubt that you benefited from my videos, because I've been telling you to buy silver since it was like 24, okay? I would have been on YouTube sooner if I could, but I didn't really know how to do it, you know? Or I was too busy or whatever. I was focused on women, you know? That's usually what a man's downfall is, because he's too focused on women. Okay, I know Kobe, you got to stop caring about women, you know?
EV car factory increased in world more and more silver burns.
Yes, they're going to burn more silver. They're going to use more silver in electric cars, solar panels, okay, electronics, data centers. You guys, you know about AI, data centers. Well, silver goes right along with that, okay? Because silver is highly conductive material. Very fast transfer of electricity. Better than copper, okay? Way better than copper. Silver is the best. It's so unique, okay? Silver should hit 100 soon. It's going to hit 100 soon. It's accelerating, okay? Silver is accelerating. You don't want to wait on this. You don't want to sleep on silver.
Oops, woman. Always care about woman.
You should definitely care about your woman, okay? But if you're a single guy, don't focus on women. A woman will come to you, okay? If you're on your purpose, if you're on your right path, if you're building wealth, if you are trying to start your own business, the women will come to you, all right?
Been stacking for almost 6 years. Grabbed a bunch when it dropped to 18.
That's a good buy, dude. This guy bought a bunch of silver at 18. You're sitting pretty now, bro, I guarantee you.
I'm from Kurdistan. Is here your videos? You are the best.
I'm the best. That's funny. That's good.
90,000 ounces of silver at $6 in the 80s and stacked platinum too.
This guy loaded up massively on silver and platinum. Platinum's one of my favorites. I really like platinum. I have I'll just say I wanted to get a big platinum bar and make this like a platinum bar. Like get a like this one's cool, but I want to get a platinum one. Okay?
How long should I keep my silver before selling it?
Wait until everybody is so bullish that you don't want to sell. Okay? When the atmosphere, everybody's so happy, they're all making money on silver, and the haters are gone. Okay? Once all the haters are gone, nobody's really hating on silver anymore. That's when you sell. Okay? So you got to examine the market sentiment. Look at what other people are doing, you know? What are people saying about it? When everyone's bullish, that's when you got to sell. Okay? I will tell you because I look at all kinds of different things. So I'll tell you when I think it's most bullish. Okay? And believe me, we're not there yet. There still is a lot of haters on silver. Even my friends are telling me that they want to sell their silver. Okay? A lot of people got to sell. Once all the sellers are exhausted, then silver's really going to freaking rip. It's really going to go. Okay? It's just a matter of time.
I've done pretty good. Yes, you have, dude. Thank you. I am thinking gold lost money, silver will recover me.
Yeah, silver is going to make you whole. Silver will make you whole. Okay? It's going to bring you back to where you should be, I think. Not financial advice.
Keep it through the collapse. Only sell it for another asset, not cash.
Yeah, this guy knows a collapse is coming too, just like I do. And, you know, I'm a believer that I actually think that we could sell some of our silver ETF positions once we start to get higher prices. But I don't believe in selling physical, okay? So my physical silver, I'm never going to sell that. What I will do is I will sell my silver ETF. I will sell my options on silver and stuff like that. And when I do that, I will buy physical, okay? But I will never sell my physical. My physical silver, that's for my kids. That's for my next generation, okay? This is called generational wealth.
Coins, bars, or chains.
I think bars are the best in my opinion, or 1 ounce rounds. I don't mess with the high premium silver. So I think you should stick with generic rounds or do like kilo bars or 10-ounce bars or 100-ounce bars. I think that's the best way to go. Buy a variety. You should buy some 1 ounces, you should buy some 10 ounces, and buy some kilos, and then maybe get a couple 100-ounce bars, something like that.
How much ounces of silver do you have? I don't say that. I have 10 pounds of silver jewelry. Should I just hold it then?
I would, yes. If you have a lot of silver jewelry, I would say hold it. I wouldn't melt it yet. But when there will be a time to melt it, yes, if you want. But like I said, I think you should save it for the next generation. Okay? So I'm not a big believer in selling silver. I think you should keep it.
Hey, thanks for that.
100.
Exactly, mix it up.
Yes, you got to mix it up because you got to have some silver to barter. You got to be able to barter with it. When we go into this freaking recession, you know, coming out of the recession, silver is probably going to skyrocket. And then other stuff is like cars and houses, those are going to be down. Okay? So you got to think about that too. There's going to be a time where you can sell your silver for assets if you want. And you can get a good deal on those assets. You know? It's going to be after the crash.
1 ounce silver Britannia coins.
Yeah, the Britannias. Yeah, those have a low premium, I'm pretty sure. They're very pretty. They're very well known. I would say, you know, how much are they? You know, silver Britannias. Yeah. I think those are a low premium coin. I think that you should buy Britannias over the Eagles. I would not buy silver Eagles, okay?
Is it worth investing in the, when will the crash be?
It's hard to predict, but my opinion is that the crash will be in less than 2 years. And the crash may come next year. Okay? The crash may be next year. That's what I think. Maybe at the middle of next year or at the end of next year. But I do not know for sure, okay? No, you know, nobody's going to know exactly when the crash is going to be. But we have to examine the market when that time comes, you know? And there will be more signs. There's going to be more signs. Like I said, the main sign of when the crash is going to come is when everybody's bullish, okay? When everybody's very bullish on the markets, the crash is going to come pretty soon after, okay? It'll be after that.
When I was in high school, 95, silver was $5. Silver stayed down in the 550 up until 1999. And then it hit $6, and then it hit 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 25 to 50. And then it crashed down to 14. Okay? So yeah, I think we're going to go up to 100, 120, and then we'll crash down to 40. All right? And I will tell my Patreon members first when I'm selling. I ain't telling you guys. I'm telling my Patreon members when I decide to sell. Okay? The Patreon is John's Gold and Silver. I am the top silver guru on the internet. I wish. At the start of the crash, won't silver go down? Yes, for sure. The silver will drop like a rock. That's why I just said silver could go up to 120 and then it could crash to 40. Okay? Yes. But guess what? After the crash is over, they're going to print a massive amount of money, and gold and silver are going to go up to first before everything else. Gold and silver are going to recover first, okay? Because that's what they always do. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, okay? So remember that. When a crash happens, yes, gold and silver will go down, but they're going to recover very well. And then they're going to go insane. Silver's going to be 300-400 an ounce. Gold's going to be 10,000-20,000 an ounce. Okay? But that's after the crash. Before the crash, I think gold could hit 7,000 maybe. Silver 100, 120, somewhere's in there. What will the crash look like? I think it's going to be like 2008, but worse. There's going to be high unemployment. You're going to see property values drop massively. A lot of people are going to be losing their jobs. There's not going to be a lot of jobs out there. Also, AI is going to make that even worse. I think the next crash is going to be pretty bad. I think it's going to be worse than 2008. I think it's going to be a pretty bad one. So I think silver is going to help you protect you in that crash. It's going to be one of the better assets to hold on to. A lot of these stocks are going to crumble, but gold and silver won't really go down as much, and they will recover very quickly. Because guess what's coming? The big print. They're going to be printing massive amounts of money, which they already are. So I bought all titanium, no crash. This guy bought titanium. This guy thinks it's only going to $70 before the end. That's chump change, bro. This is a historic move. I don't think 70 is going to be it. Silver may go over 1,000 one day. Yes. Because the dollar is going to go down indefinitely, so that means silver is going to go up indefinitely until they take us onto a new currency standard. There's going to be a new kind of currency, and word is that it will be worse than the Depression. Yeah. The next crash could be worse than the Great Depression. It might be. It's because AI, there's not going to be a lot of jobs left. People are not going to have any money. And I believe that the government is going to give people free money. It's called helicopter money. I've always believed this for many, many years, that we will get into a severe depression, and the government is going to give helicopter money. That's what's going to make silver go to 300-400. And all that is coming. That's in our future. That's in the future. I think that's a built-in guarantee. There's going to be a massive crash and then massive QE, quantitative easing. I'll give you solid silver kilo. Okay, I'll take it. John sold me silver behind a Walmart in 1990. No, I didn't get into silver in 1990. Okay, I first got into silver in 1999, but I probably had a little bit of silver before then from various sources that I got it from. But I really got into silver in 1999, 2000, and that's when I started buying. I got my working papers, and then I got hired at a chicken farm. So I was making about maybe, I don't even know. Maybe I was making $200, $250 a week, and I was buying rolls of silver quarters, rolls of silver half dollars. Thanks for that. So yeah, when I was like 14 years old, I started to buy silver because I could see that the world was going in a bad direction. I could see that the prices of goods and services were skyrocketing even back then, Even as a 14-year-old kid, I knew that silver was going to be a good place to be. Dude, when you have live, usually random. I do my lives whenever I can. Stockpile food. Yep. Ammo. Yes, I definitely believe in stockpiling ammo for sure. Federal Reserve has gold in the books for 42.22. Trump could revalue gold.
He will. They're letting it rise up slowly, and then there will be like a big, probably revaluation coming. But yes. So I think that they will revalue gold. Absolutely. It's going to help balance out the national debt. They're gonna revalue gold. Dan says, John, I'm poor. Well, you got to start saving money, dude. Start saving anything that you can. Okay? And then you got to get into these investments. Live good money. No, I don't make much from this at all. I'm trying to. The cannabis as a currency, you can get paid by the pound. Yeah, cannabis is a currency because it's universally accepted. You know, everybody will take cannabis pretty much. You know, if I say, hey, buddy, I'll give you some cannabis if you cut my grass, they'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, they would do it. Yeah. I could say, you know, I need you to dig a hole in my backyard and I can pay you in cannabis. They'd do it. You know, cannabis is a form of a currency. You can barter with it. You can trade with it. I'm a big fan of cannabis. Yes. I'm glad I started collecting gold and silver in the 70s. Wow. If I had $2,000, what would I invest in? I would put it all into the gold and silver penny stocks right now, because the gold and silver penny stocks are the last to move. Okay. So yes, as we've said, we have the big gold miners. They've already went up a lot. You know, your Wheaton Precious Metals, your AEM. Now we're having the mid caps, Hecla Mining, Courier Mining, Silvercorp Metals. All of the mid caps are going up now. And that's why I'm making money now, because I have all mid caps. Now, what happens next? What happens next? The gold and silver penny stocks. These are the ones that are going to go next. So if you had $2,000, I would say probably put 1,000 of that into gold and silver penny stocks. You could buy a few cannabis stocks. You could buy some AI stocks too. But I would say I would be real heavy into the gold and silver right now. Yeah. If you had $2,000 to invest, I'd go real heavy on gold and silver.
Universally accepted. What are you talking about? Let me go pay for my medical bills in weed.
Well, you know, you can't pay medical. No, you can't do medical bills. That's one thing that they won't accept it for. So yes, you are correct. You can't pay for everything with it. I like buying all assets, and I can say Bitcoin has a fair outpaces everything I have. Well, Bitcoin has outpaced everything to this point, but it will not anymore. Bitcoin is garbage now. Bitcoin is garbage. Bitcoin is going to have diminishing returns. Look it up anywhere. You know, will Bitcoin have diminishing returns? Yes. The answer is yes. Everybody knows it. Okay? Everybody knows that you're not going to get the same gains out of Bitcoin that you have gotten before. So Bitcoin has been a great investment up until now, you know, up until now. So I like to tip in cannabis and ammunition for things around my house. Yeah. When the maid comes over, you can tip her in that stuff. Yeah. Invest in gambling online. You will make money every day. He's a fan of, what about XRP? I don't like XRP because I think that Brad Garlinghouse is kind of like a scammer guy. He's like, his personality, the way about him, the way he is, the way he talks. He's just like a penny stock scammer, you know? So I think Brad Garlinghouse is a scammer, and that means that I don't like XRP. And XRP is a ghost chain. It's garbage. It's crap. Anyways, so it's a crap coin that's supported by a shitty human being, you know?
Theorist and Young, 400. Heads up, ICE is in your area. Are my super chats working? I don't think they're working. No, your super chat didn't work, bro. Dang it. It will not have diminishing returns because it is deflationary. An average of 26% return over the past 10 years.
Yeah. But what's that going to be if Bitcoin drops to 40,000? That's going to be different numbers. That's going to change your numbers. Then you're going to come back here and you're going to type in not 26%, but it's going to be something totally different. You know what I mean? All that has to happen is for Bitcoin just to come down a little bit, and then your whole thesis is off. Those returns change. You know what I mean? It just so happens that right now, Bitcoin is at a good level, so it seems like your numbers are making sense, you know? But Bitcoin is very volatile. That can change very quickly, okay? And yes, it's a fact. Look it up. Diminishing returns from Bitcoin. Yeah, it is a fact. It will have diminishing returns. So,
XRP is great. Keep buying. Just look it up if you don't believe me, okay? And then if you still disagree after looking it up, then that's fine. But Bitcoin, it will have diminishing returns. You're never going to see the same gains that you've seen when Bitcoin first came out. Never. It's never going to be the same gains. That's why I'm into the meme coins, okay? Your Bonk, your Pepe, your Shiba Inu, your ICP, your Chainlink, okay? I'm into that stuff. Bought more XRP. Yeah, XRP is a cult. It's a cult. And you're in it. AVAX. I don't like that one because Cryptos R Us is always pumping up that one. And he's kind of like a scammer to me. Crypto is trash. Yes, crypto is trash. And we hold crypto to sell it and make money, you know. I have crypto, and when it goes up, I'm going to sell it and buy gold. You know. How do you think I got this chain? Because I sold XRP. A lot of you guys already know that. But yes, I bought XRP at 52 cents. I sold it at $2.75. And I bought this chain. So so to me, crypto is only good for buying gold, you know. I buy crypto, then when it goes up, I buy the gold. It's a way. Crypto is a means to an end. It's a way that you can trade fake money to get real money. Okay? So crypto is the fake money, and then you can trade that to make real money. That is my best advice for, you know, the purpose of crypto. Okay? Is it right in a shortage in silver mining? Yes, there is a shortage in silver mining. Okay? And it takes years to bring new mines online. Okay? Bro, that is terrible advice. Well, only time will tell. You don't know what is good advice and what is bad, because the future, it may be different than what we both believe. Okay, the future may be different than what you think and what I think. We could both have bad advice, you know what I mean? I got 1 million Jasmy coin, I hope it hits $1. Oh yeah, Jasmy, that's the one Oscar Ramos is always pumping. I'll check that out, but I don't like him, he's a scammer. So that's why I don't like Jasmy, because he's always pumping that one. But let's see how it's doing. Jasmy. Yeah, Oscar Ramos is the biggest scammer on YouTube. Or Cryptos R Us, I don't know. But yeah, Oscar's into Jasmy big time. But I think he was telling people to buy it when it was higher, and now it crashed, which is typical. These guys, they always get people stuck, you know. That's what these guys' job is. Oscar Ramos, Cryptos R Us. Their job is to create bag holders. They get people to buy up at the top, and then they're bag holder. So their job is to create exit liquidity for the people that support them. You don't understand, guys. You don't get it. You got lots of YouTubers out there. Their only job is to create exit liquidity for the insiders that bought these cryptos cheap. Everything I just said right there is a fact. These guys are scammers. All right? So, are you a scam? No, I'm not scamming because I'm not paid off. Nobody pays me. You guys pay me. That's it. So I don't scam. And I wouldn't take money from any of these crypto companies anyways. Okay? And unless it's one that I really believed in. If I really believe in ICP, so I would take money from them, but I never did yet. But I would. And I would take money from Shiba Inu because I really believe Shiba Inu is going to go up. But I've never taken money from Shiba Inu, but I would. Okay? But when it's time to sell, I'll actually tell you guys, okay, I sold. These other guys don't tell you, you know. You don't get paid by someone else, so you're not a scammer. Perfect logic. Yeah, I don't have any donors, you know. You can use that same logic with the politicians. Politicians have donors, so that way they have to vote a certain way to appease their donors. You know, I'm trying to explain this so you get it, you know. I gotta hammer it into your head. And it's some people, they just don't want to learn. So, guy is a scammer calling other scammers so that he makes money. No, I'm not a scammer. I'm one of the few that doesn't have donors. I just said that. You're a bootlegging gangster. Yeah, that's more like it. Gold does not have a limit. A limit? What do you mean by that? You're frozen. Bro used to watch Oscar. Yeah, I watched Oscar Ramos and Cryptos R Us so that I could get an idea of the market sentiment, not to learn information, because all their information is not going to be good. But you have to learn, you know, I read the comments, so I see what people are thinking, what is the prevailing sentiment, what are the opinions of the people, You know, I don't care about what the opinions of these guys are. I look at the comments, you know, what the people say. Okay? Because when everyone is too bullish, if everyone is always bullish, that means it's going to go down. And that's why I sold my crypto in December, you know. And remember, I told you guys that I sold my crypto last December. These other guys don't tell you. Okay? They don't, if you ever notice, they don't tell you when to sell. You ever notice that? All they do is say keep on buying. They never tell you a good time to sell. But I told you, I said, guys, I sold all of my crypto in December. And I told you right when it happened. Okay? So if you guys want to get in on the ground floor on one of the fastest growing YouTube channels that's going to be the most accurate and honest, then this is it. This is it. Not financial advice. Zcash, yeah, that thing's coming down nicely. What price will you sell Shiba at? I'm thinking a 10x, 10x Shiba. So if Shiba, you know, it drops a 0, then that'd be a good time to sell. Yeah. If Shiba drops a 0, there you go. Take your profits, you know. Or anytime you have a massive run up very quickly, you could sell some right there. If Shiba Inu runs up to 405, there you go. You could sell. If Shiba triples, you could sell some. You know, it's never wrong to take a profit. But ultimately, I think Shiba Inu could do a 10x. 10x. But I would say sell as soon as you're in the green. If you need the money, if you're broke, whatever. Shiba should do a 10x. That's what I'm thinking. Nothing wrong with meat. I love meat. How high Bitcoin going? It could go to $1 million. I think it's only going to go to like 140 to somewhere around 140 to 165 next year. Then I think the big crash is coming after that. So yeah, I think Bitcoin, it could work its way up to 140, 150, 160. And then I think we're going down to 40,000. And then after that, it could go, the sky is the limit, you know. Pepe, I think Pepe could 5 to 10x. That's it. Could get a good 10x out of Pepe. But we got to get the interest rates, lower interest rates. So they're setting people up to think that they're only going to have one interest rate cut. But I think that next year they're probably going to have more like 5 to 6 interest rate cuts. So they're setting people up to be bearish. And that is to create the wall of worry. Okay, guys? When there's no more wall of worry, that's when you sell. Okay? So people say, oh, when should I sell Pepe? When nobody's scared it's going to drop. When everybody's only bullish, that's when you sell. Okay? Dude, you give us good info about metals. What is your occupation? Well, I'm studying to be a personal trainer. I'm a YouTuber. I work at Burger King. I manage my crypto portfolio. I have multiple portfolios that I manage that are my own. And I run my Patreon. So I make a little bit of money on the Patreon too. So I actually have about 5 or 6 jobs. And you have to. You have to have multiple streams of income. You have to these days, okay? How do you buy silver and avoid premiums recommended off Facebook? I would not buy silver on Facebook unless you know how to test it. I would buy it from Provident Metals or AppMex or JM Bullion. You got to buy it from a reliable source because you don't want to buy silver and find out it's not real. Okay? So if I were you, I'd get it from Provident Metals and just get a generic 1 ounce rounds, you know? Get a low premium. Even if it's used, you know, if it's secondhand silver, buy that, you know? Look at that. I did Kamehameha Wave once. Happy holidays. Glenn Quagmire, that's the guy from Family Guy. He gave me $2. $2. We got a super chat. First super chat of the day. That's the first one of the day. Yes. Splitting on your onion rings. LOL, y'all trying to get financial advice from a Burger King employee. I'm not just any Burger King employee, dude. I'm going to be one of the first Burger King employees that becomes a millionaire. Okay? And you guys cannot comprehend. The haters cannot comprehend. That's just the way it is. The haters will never get it, you know? And when the haters see what I'm actually doing, that it comes to pass, they're just going to stop. They're just going to leave. They're just going to say, oh, I was wrong. And they're just going to disappear, you know? The haters will disappear. So yes, although I am a Burger King worker, I'm going to become the first millionaire Burger King worker. Okay? I mean, I'm sure someone's done it before, but I'm going to be one of the few people that went from Burger King to a millionaire. And this is going to be in my book. It's going to be a fucking part of my life. I'm going to write this in my book, you know, that I was, remember, there was a day that I was working at Burger King and how I transformed my wealth, you know. That's going to be part of my life story. And I think it should be part of yours too. Where do you work? Your life story has to be good too. You got to come up too. Okay, I'm coming up and you're hating on me. But in reality, you should be trying to come up with me. Okay? You guys got to come up too. You got to stop hating and start trying to level up yourself. Okay? I do underground pipes last half. Y'all won't last half a day. I probably wouldn't, dude. You guys fucking goes under the ground and lays pipe. This guy lays pipe for a living, dude. That is a sweet job. Can you give a shout out to my friend Nick Gurr? He's going through a rough time. Well, give me a super chat first. Structure, shooting grade, well points. What's your story? I got a long story, bro, and I don't want to get into the whole story. Unless you give me like $40 and then I'll sit here and talk about it. Give me a big super chat. But I'm not giving you my whole story because that's going to take forever. He actually said it. I kind of said part of my story, yeah. But my story actually goes, you know. But remember, guys, whatever you came from, whatever your story was, doesn't have to continue. If you come from a bad place, you come from a poor house, does not have to continue. You can change your story. You can change your life trajectory. That's what it is, the trajectory, okay? You got to make your life trajectory like a rocket. You got to level up. They trolling, don't say no names. Put the fries in the bag. I like that one. We used to get that one a lot. I love your attitude. Yes, thank you. This guy's leveled up himself. He's already... Some of these guys know how to, you know, put one foot in front of the other. How to plan for success. Some of you guys know. And you just like watching somebody else that's hungry for success. You know? I get it. John, what do you think of Luna Classic? The Terra Luna Classic? You know, a lot of these meme coins, you really don't know what's going to happen. The freaking management teams, you really don't know how good they are, what their plans are, if they're going to freaking rug pull everyone. I would just say buy it, you know. If you're thinking about it, I would say buy a little bit. You know, buy enough that it's not going to really put a huge dent in your money. You know, you want to have fun too. You want to be in the party. I would say make it, do it. Because guess what? I have gold, silver, platinum, crypto, stocks, options. I hold a lot of different assets. So, would I buy Terra Luna Classic? Maybe, yeah, maybe I would. I didn't buy that one yet, but maybe I would. So I think you should do it. I think you should buy it. Okay? Because these cryptos can go up a lot. And when you sell it, when you make money and you sell it, you should buy some gold. Gold and silver been great investment in the last few years. Well, really, gold's only been good the last year and a half. But silver's been climbing for, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're doing good. But the best is yet to come. With gold and silver, the best is yet to come. Okay? I got stuff to do, guys. Oh, there it is. Now, it's climbed a lot in the last year, but it says so, yeah. I keep eating too, yeah. You got to stay hungry. Keep eating, build that muscle, okay? As a man, you got to really work on your physique. I think that's very important. I really do. How high can silver go? I'm predicting 300, but it's not going to happen next year. I'm thinking a few years, 4 years. I think silver's going to hit 300.
but I think we could hit 90 to 100 next year. Maybe even as high as 120. Because we're just accelerating. This is the time. We're accelerating now. It's going to be faster. Everything's going to be faster now. Okay?
Crypto is a gamble. Yes. Stacking gold and silver, accumulating shares of quality stocks is everything.
You're right, dude. That's why I'm buying stocks like Petrobrazil, Energy Transfer, Plains All American Pipelines, these freaking oil transfer companies, energy transfer companies that pay high dividends, okay? So everyone's portfolio should have some dividend stocks, high quality stocks. Like also Barrick Gold. That's a good one. Barrick Gold. That's got a good dividend, okay? It's not as high as some of the oil transports like EC, PBR, but I still like Barrick, okay?
His hat is sideways as his advice.
You guys can buy whatever stocks you want. Don't let me tell you what to buy. This is not financial advice, okay?
Do you also invest in foreign currency? No.
$70 next, silver $200 next. Yeah, first we got to hit 70 and then we'll hit 200. We got to take it one step at a time. So, yeah.
Yo, I'm just messing with you. You can mess with me, dude.
What's the point of owning gold? That's a good question, but I believe the point of owning gold is for protection, to protect your wealth. It's a good place to store value. It's what is gold? It's stored work. It's stored energy. It took so much gasoline, so much manpower, massive $1 million bulldozers, so much equipment, and all that energy, just picture it, stored in that 1 ounce of gold. Okay? That's why it's so valuable. It's one of the reasons it's so valuable, because it takes so much energy just to get it out of the ground. And it's a way that you can store your wealth. Because if you have gold, you know, and you keep it, and your kids keep it, and they give it to their grandkids, it's going to be worth a shitload of money. You understand now? Okay? So if you have a suitcase full of silver, you know, keep it in your family. Because down the line, your family will be able to make use of it. Okay? So I don't believe in selfishness. I believe in building generational wealth. Okay? We should be making money and for the purpose of helping out our family's future. Our keeping our gene code strong, you know? Giving that money to your kids, your grandkids. Leave them with something, you know? Get some gold. Leave them, you know, don't just leave them to fend for themselves, you know? Make some money, get some gold, and pass it down to the next generation. I think that is the most honorable thing you can do, is to help out your the next gen. I think that's the best thing you can do as a man, is to build that family wealth. Look at the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. Yes, these people are evil, but why are we not emulating the way that they save and invest? Okay? We should be building generational wealth too. Look at freaking Warren Buffett's family. Look at any rich people. They're going to help set up their kids. Why should we not set up our next generation? Why are you going to be so selfish that you're just going to make all this money and you're just going to blow it on fancy cars? You scumbag? Okay? You're just going to blow it on a $300,000 house and leave your kids with what? Debts? You know what I mean? So that's what gold is for. It's for building that generational wealth. Okay? Can't believe you guys don't even... Some of you guys can't even comprehend what I'm saying. But...
Okay, physical metals are the best way. Paper contracts are artificial.
Yes, there is not enough paper... Well, there's not enough actual physical metal to equate to how much paper contracts are being dumped on the market, you know? For every paper contract... For like every 100 paper contracts, there's probably like 1 ounce of gold. You know what I mean? That's what they say. For every so many paper contracts, there's only so much real metal. And that's true. That's true.
So, physical metals are the best way. Oh, yeah. So you are born into golden spoon and silver spoon and a plastic spoon.
Well, I was born into a plastic spoon, and let me tell you, it ain't fun, okay? You don't want that for your kids. Be born into a plastic spoon? Paper plates? No. You want your family to be set up, okay? you know, like I said, why should we not save and invest like the Rothschilds? Why not? Are we not good enough to create wealth? You know, people are so selfish and they just want what they want now. You know, you got to be willing to put off gratification. Put off that gratification. Okay. Lawrence Silver has been kept artificially low for a long time because these big investors have positions that could possibly lose them billions of dollars. Yes. And they kept it cheap for the military industrial complex. Okay. Because the military uses a lot of silver. And they're probably keeping it cheap for companies like Apple, Google, Tesla for all these years, you know, to help them. Because they, you know, insiders, they have positions in these companies, so they have a vested interest in helping them get cheap silver. You guys don't even understand how intertwined and how evil it is, how they've been suppressing silver. I'm telling you, it's evil. I really believe that. They're suppressing it. So, rolling up 2, gang. Hopefully we don't get banned on here. We probably will. It seems like I can't sell my silver. Why? It crashed hard today just because they probably shorted it down. It's just whatever, profit taking. Bitcoin fell too, okay, bro? Don't even worry about it. If you can't sell your silver, you know, you have a problem. You can always sell it on eBay. You can always sell your silver on Facebook. Craigslist. You can always sell it. What's your favorite silver stock if not physical? Well, I try to just keep the stocks for the Patreon members. The silver stocks, I have them on my Patreon, all right? And I just released 5 silver and gold penny stocks. And I own these 5. I bought them, okay? And I have 6 more. I have 6 more gold and silver penny stocks. I'm going to be making a video on that one too, all right? So I'm going to have 11 gold and silver penny stocks. I try to pick out the best ones for you guys, okay? Silver not... Why in the hell would you be selling silver after we just got done saying it's artificially low? The poor will sell, okay? The people, they're poor. They need money. That's why they're selling, because they need money. Okay? That's it. They're poor. I'm not trying to say that like a bad thing, but you're poor, dude. If you're selling silver, you're poor. You should want to build wealth. You should try to get more silver. You should not try to sell it. You have a poor mindset because you say, "Oh, I could really use that cash." But guess what? If you keep that silver, you'll get a lot more cash. Okay? Do you understand now? A lot of these people don't know. They don't know, dude. For real, they really just don't have a clue. They're poor. You got to get into a rich mindset. You got to convince yourself that you will become rich. That's what I did. It's working so far, okay? Convince yourself that you will become rich. Tell yourself, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be rich. I don't care. 10 times a day, 20 times a day. I think 50 is good. I tell myself I'm going to be rich all day, throughout the day, all the time. Many times per day, probably 50 to 100 times a day. It's just at random times. Like sometimes as soon as I wake up, I better get up because I gotta get rich, you know? Or I say, I gotta go to sleep early today because I gotta wake up and get rich, you know? It's always got to be on your mind or it's not going to happen, okay? I'm not poor, but I am getting close to being tapped out as far as cash in my bank account. Why? Because of the downturn, which is what they want, so the whales can make all the money. Yeah, you're right. They're sending silver up higher when we're kind of in a recession. People don't have the money, the spending cash. That's why silver's going up, because people just can't afford it. So they want to rocket it up. You know, they don't want retail to have silver. They want you to sell, you know. They want, so look out. Look out on the news for people saying that, oh, silver could be topping now. All right, that could happen. They could start saying, oh, silver. You'll have analysts saying silver could be topping, or they say, oh, silver's at record highs. It's at all-time highs. How long could this last? They want you to sell. Okay. If Jim Cramer says sell silver, buy it. You know. And if he says buy it, sell it. You understand? You understand? When Jim Cramer says it's time for you to buy silver, that's when you sell. All right? That's when you sell. Got it? I hope you got it.
So I don't sell many people this, but I asked God for 100,000 last year, and crazy contracts came through and made it in a month.
Shit, bro. I think that God is real. And just praying and asking God can help. Sometimes he will help. Sometimes I think God already has a predetermined plan for you. But sometimes I think God can throw extra stuff your way, you know? And I always look at it as I look at life as a battle between good and evil, you know? Satan's trying to take me down. Satan wants me to stay poor. Satan doesn't want me to have kids. And then I say, screw you, Satan. You're not going to get what you want. I'm going to get what I want. Which hopefully coincides with what God wants, okay? And God said, be fruitful and multiply. So God wants us to have kids. I ain't going to let Satan stop me, okay? Satan will not stop me. Satan's going to stay poor forever. Satan already lost. All right? Satan cannot win. What did I see the other day? It was something like Satan was telling someone that they were doing something wrong. Satan was like, you're wrong, don't do that. And then the person said back to Satan, well, look at you. You got kicked out of heaven, you know? How could you get kicked out of heaven? Satan is the true fool, you know? He's the true idiot. He's actually smart, but his arrogance is, you know, he was too arrogant.
Didn't Jim Cramer say that Bitcoin was going to zero and then it hit all-time highs, rocketing from 20,000?
Yeah, whatever Jim Cramer says, you know. Jim Cramer is trying to manipulate people. He's got a handler, you know. The banks have Jim Cramer in their pocket, you know. Don't even watch people like him. The guy's a scumbag. But yes, okay. Thanks for the follow. Somebody followed. Good job. Good on you. Talmud is purely malarkey. The one of the Talmud. The difference between Lucifer and Satan. I don't think there is a difference. They're the same. They're the same individual. Well, that's refreshing that this guy actually agrees that God is in control. Well, for sure, yeah. I grew up as raised as a Christian, raised in the church. Big believer in gold and silver. Big believer in God, you know. It's all legion. False idol. The world's strongest crypto trader. Well, I'm the only crypto bodybuilder, okay? I'm one of the only crypto bodybuilders out there. But, you know, I'm not a huge fan of crypto, but yes, I do invest in it. Because I gotta have a piece of the pie, you know. I want to make some money from it. And I did, you know. Like I said, I sold all of my crypto back in December. I've already loaded up again. Okay, I loaded up on 12,000. I got 12,000 in crypto. So, you know, I got out and I said, shit, prices are down. Get back in. So I'm back in. I'm in the game. Feels great. I love it. I love to be in the game. Even though I'm not a huge fan of cryptocurrencies, I like that I own it because I think it's going to go up, you know. And, you know, if my crypto goes up, if I make 50 or 60,000, I'm just going to sell it and buy gold, you know. Satan means adversary. The adversary to God, yeah.